Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to the Tour de France 2020 Pro Team Career Mode with the TIJ Racing Team. And today it is time for Liege Bastogne Liege, the single stage event, and it's a bit of a hilly one, and I'm definitely interested in this because rather than the previous two events, the Vlaanderen Classic and Paris-Roubaix, where to be honest we hadn't really got a snowballs of a chance of winning, we definitely have got a chance in today's video. Now, in terms of our squad lineup, I've had a bit of a think about this, and I want to prioritise this event because I think we've definitely got a chance with the hilly nature of the stage. And there's 100 points available for the Pro Cycling Rankings. And we've seen in the next event, the Liege Cup, that we usually do pretty well in that. But, as you can see, if you add up everything there, so even if we win all three stages, 45 points, 70 points, and we can only get 100 points if we absolutely blitz that Liege Cup. But Liege Bastogne Liege is a really good chance, and my point here is that we need to prioritise this event and use some of our best guys. So I think Van Baal's going to get into the lineup here. I think that Meduas is going to get into the lineup here. Not sure about Gegenhardt. I think I might leave Gegenhardt out. And then Jacobs did well in Vlaanderen, so I'm going to give him a chance. I think Ben Swift probably takes a stage out so he can go in the Liege Cup and try and win the points classification. But I'll have a quick look, have a quick shufty, and I'll explain who I've picked. Okay then folks, so this is the team we're going with. We're going with two mountain riders. We've got Meduas and Gidic. I was going to go with Quintana, but I thought maybe Quintana's a better bet for the Liege Cup. So we're going to give Gidic a chance at the age of 24. One of the younger riders in the team, although Meduas is the same age as him. And Meduas hopefully can do well for us today. Van Baal's there. We've got Marder in the team as well, a good hilly rider. We've got Bjerg and Jacobs, the two sort of versatile riders. And we've got Lawless in there as well. If you look at the five guys that don't make the cuts, we've got Swift, Gegenhardt and Quintana being rested, but McLean and Affini haven't really shown what it takes. I might change somebody I might put Affini in just so somebody gets a break. No, I'm going to leave it like that. I think that's okay. So here we go then for the Liege Bastogne Liege.
Hi guys, welcome to this Liege Bastogne Liege briefing. There's no point beating around the bush. You're at the start of one of the hardest races of the year. It's long, and there are plenty of steep climbs. You've got your work cut out. It's going to be a long, hard day. We can't expect to compete with the favourites. We'll have to be in the early breakaway. You're going to suffer, but so will your opponents. Go on. Good luck, guys.
Hello and welcome to Belgium for one of the most eagerly awaited classics of the year, Liege Bastogne Liege. With its very demanding route that takes in numerous short climbs, this monument is the holy grail for all punchers.
Well, hello there folks and welcome to Liege Bastogne Liege, and I have to say I am really looking forward to this, looking forward to the challenge that this singular stage event holds. Now 100 points for the winner, no mountain classification, no points classification, and it is the last of the three classics. Of course the two classics have come before it, the Vlaanderen Classic and then Paris-Roubaix. But we've got two objectives today, and it's no real surprise that our two main men want to do well. We've got Meduas in the top 25, I believe. Yes, Meduas, they want him to finish in the top 25. That's absolutely fair. And then Van Baal in the top 20. Now, I'm going to ride with Meduas to start off with because I think Meduas is probably our stronger bet, although his condition isn't brilliant. That's why we probably have to get Van Baal to come into his own perhaps a little bit later on. But our two main men for this is Van Baal and Meduas. So we'll get somebody to protect Van Baal. I think it's probably best for Bjerg to do that job, given that he's in pretty decent nick. But so we've got a good gap actually in this breakaway already. The peloton not persisting. I'm not too surprised. It's a really long day, and again, you can't use your energy too sparingly. So let's have a look at who we got in the breakaway. We've got Terame, who's been there before. I recognise him. There's obviously ourselves, Meduas. It's nice to ride with him again. He is. I think Van Baal's nearly taking that status off. I mean, there's a lot of nice names in the team, but Meduas has to be one of my favourites in our team. I think Swifty is a great name because he's British. But, you know, Meduas, Van Baal, even Quintana, they are cracking riders. I really enjoy riding with them. I mean, the likes of McLean are frustrating, and the likes of Gidic and Marder, you know, there's definitely time for those guys to improve. But we have made up the gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simulate forward for a little bit, just tell him to work with his opponents, but follow and don't overtire. Kind of take the bit of a cheeky tactic that... who was it? Was it yes, it was Jacobs in the last. It was Jacobs in the previous one, the Vlaanderen Classic. He took this cheeky tactic to just follow and not tire himself out too much. But to be fair, we can work with our opponents. We've got more than enough energy to do our share in the breakaway. And hopefully if we work with our opponents, then this breakaway might well work. But yeah, there's no real sort of milestone point to give an update. So I'm just going to give sporadic updates when and where things happen. Well, we're going to see what somebody else can do here. We're going to give Gidic, that's a bit of a tongue twister. I'm going to oh God, see, I can't do it. I'm going to give Gidic a bit of a chance here. We might be potentially spoiling the breakaway. I don't know, by Gidic setting some good pace. Looks like we could be, but we'll see. I don't think this is really working to our benefit too much. I think the peloton is just going to persist and follow here. So it might not be the best thing to try and put an attack in, because clearly the guys behind are wise to that. But to be fair, it's only a small group. The peloton is starting to fall back a little bit. But we'll get back on board with Meduis, I think. And I think it might be a good idea to set a high tempo and try and get away from the peloton again. Well, the breakaway, as expected, has been caught by the peloton. I'm going to tell Meduis just to chill for a little bit now. At the end of the day, he's worked quite hard. It doesn't look like there's going to be any other attacks for a bit, but I'm going to tell Van Baal, if anybody, to follow any prospective attacks. But Meduis should have the energy fairly soon if there's going to be an attack to follow it. So, as soon as we're near the front of the peloton, we can react to that manually, but should be okay for the moment. Again, no attacks, but if there is one, I'll let you know. And you watch, the second I cut away, there probably will be one. Well, we've gone a good 20 kilometres here and nobody's made an attack, which I don't really know how to view that. Do we make an attack and try and tire people out, or are the only people going to tire out ourselves? I don't really know, but we've told a lot of our guys just to follow, don't overtire. Again, there's no point really doing too much in the relay if all it's going to do is burn our energy. So Marder and Jacobs are the two I'm keeping an eye on to make sure they're okay. But at the moment, this is looking pretty uneventful. But remember, there's a few big climbs coming up. And as soon as we've got all of our feed left, they might be chances to make a bit of a push. So, this is the first climb of the day. The first official climb of the day. So, I feel like this is a good chance to make a bit of an attack. Just set a good pace. Nothing too ridiculous. Just try and push the peloton and then go. Oh, there's a little group here. As you can see, we're not setting too much pace, but the peloton is starting to go away. The peloton's obviously not persisting, so at the moment we don't need too much more pace. The only unfortunate bit here is that nobody's really following us. But you can't do too much about that. We've got a 30-second gap to the peloton. I don't know how long we've got to the top, so we just need to make a note of that. But Meduis is certainly going for it here. His energy isn't going down too badly. Just check everybody else, they're absolutely fine, that's good to see. I mean, we had told Van Baal to follow attacks, but he must have been asleep there. I guess you don't follow attacks from your own teammate, but we've got a lead of a minute over the pelotons. This is good, as far as I'm concerned. I just think we're going to struggle from wind exposure, so, you know, if we need to come back to the peloton, then we can. There's no harm in that at all. This is an interesting breakaway, though. We'll see what happens, and who knows, it might have been a genius move. If not, we can just admit defeat and go back to the peloton without really using too much of our energy. So there is a counter-attack being set by Van Baal, who, to be fair, is following attacks, and O'Connor. Never heard of him before. Looks like Meduis is going to be caught by those two, though. But I've just told Meduis just to put in a very gentle pace. No need to go for it too much. But this is interesting. Again, Van Baal, tell him to work with his opponents, I guess. That won't hurt anything. And I would tell Meduis to wait for his opponents, but to be quite honest, it looks like they're going to catch him anyway. So here they are.
This rider is both comfortable on short climbs and on mountain passes. In addition, his qualities as a rouleur aren't too bad for a rider of his type.
There we go, we're talking about Van Baal there. So just tell everyone to set the minimum tempo possible. And, well, we'll see what this breakaway can do. If not, again, we just concede defeat, go back to the peloton, and to be fair, we haven't lost all that much. Well, I've just heard from the sports director that we didn't make any friends. Might be talking about Van Baal, perhaps, because he hasn't taken the majority of the relays, but Medusa is okay. That's not too bad, but there's maybe too many in this breakaway now. I don't know, it might be perfect. It might suit us well, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But at least we're in a breakaway. At least we're giving ourselves a chance. And the peloton is quite a way back. Looking at the trajectory of what's going on though here, I think we're pretty safe at some point soon to take our feed. So it might be a good idea to put in a load at a bit of pace before we take that feed. So we've put in some really good pace, particularly with Medusa. Tell him just to follow now. No need to persist too much. Putting some really good pace, and now we've got a lead of 3 minutes on the peloton. It's still a long way to go. I understand that completely. But looking okay here. Don't think we need anybody behind to take any feed. But it's looking just about okay at the moment. I'm happy with this. 130 odd kilometres to go. There's some decent punches in this group. Who knows, this might just work. Oh, okay. Steep climb coming up, so need to work with our opponents here to get up here okay. Might have been a bit early to take our feed, perhaps. We'll get Van Baal to take his now, but to be fair, coming back down here, there's no problem. Oh, Bierge's starting to struggle. We'll give him some red gel. Make sure he's all okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, all recovered. That's jolly good. Feed zone should be coming up soon for these guys. Now 10 in the breakaway. And there we go, there's the feed line. And I think everyone behind's looking good. So if we work with our opponents, continue working with our opponents, then yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But it's looking okay at the moment, but it's still a long, long way to go. Okay, so the first big climb of this feed zone section, if you like. The second feed. And we've still got a 2-minute gap to the peloton. That has gone down, but, you know, it's still okay. This climb, if we can just punch through it, we should be alright. There's a few big ones till the end, but after that second feed, it doesn't look too bad. I think the peloton might well catch up, but it's always known that so Felix is obviously inside the peloton. As Medusa's got what it takes to really go for it. Can set a high tempo, I suppose, and try and go for it a bit with Van Baal. There are too many in this group, though. I do agree with the sports director here. We don't really want 9 in this group. Sort of 4 or 5 would be okay. So I'll try and put a bit of pace in with Van Baal. We've been told to go for it with... Medusa's been told to go for it as well. Should be no problem there. Let's just try and split the men from the boys here. Again, not setting a ridiculous pace. Just enough. And hopefully we might be able to shrug 1 or 2 off here. Looks like we're not there at the moment. Maybe not the best time to do it on a downhill. So we might just wait a little while. And yeah, see if we can get an attack. So that gap's a little bit uncomfortable at the moment. I think if we can get that back over 2 minutes, it should be okay. So we've got a big climb here. 3.6 kilometres at a slope of 5%. Now I've told Medusa to attack. So I'm going to wait for him to go, and then we're going to follow him with Van Baal.
Okay, I'll put in a big acceleration.
Thank you. Okay, here he comes. Got a bit of a downhill here, so we might as well make the most of this opportunity to go. Without burning any energy. Medusa hopefully should be joining us. That's it, come on Medusa. Just want to make sure he doesn't use too much of his energy up here by attacking. Just get behind him. This is it. This is good. This is what we want. We want a gap. Nice gap to the other guys. Trying to make sure he's okay. Okay, that should do. Breathe. Breathe a bit now. And we'll just go in front of him now.
I'll take it easy, whatever happens.
Just don't be a problem. So obviously if we follow and not overtie, hopefully he should just follow Van Baal now. Actually, we can go on board with Medusa and do that ourselves. I think we do that a little bit better than the AI would here. Come back, Van Baal. I know we won't have any more energy for an attack, but we just need to follow him. Come on, Van Baal, come back. That's it, perfect. Right, we've got a 25-second gap to those behind. This could work. Again, just following Van Baal just to make sure. I mean, we might lose all the pace that we've Yeah, might lose all the gap that we've got, but, well, that's the problem, I suppose. So, just continue the effort. Go again with Meduas here. I think we've got the top of the climb just coming up, so that's why we're coming back to the fort. Set some good pace with these two. And we were told by the sports director that we would struggle, but that everybody else around us would as well. But now we've got a good chance to gain some energy back. Van Baal's doing a little bit of pedalling, which I don't really think is too necessary here. But we're going to go on board with Meduas, get some energy back for him, given that he's exerted the most at getting up on that climb. But to be fair, it's a very small gap at 10 seconds, but a gap is a gap at the end of the day. We've got 82 kilometres to go. You know, it's not looking too bad. I still have the opinion that the peloton will probably catch up before the end. But again, you've just got to believe. How long is it till the next feed? Not too long, and we haven't used any of this feed yet, so that's a bit of good news. It looks like the few guys there are starting to struggle a little bit. But yeah, this is not looking too bad. Let's see how we go. Let's see what obstacles are in the next. Let's see what obstacles, not obstacles. We aren't French. Let's see what obstacles are in the next kilometre, a few kilometres for us. Only 1 kilometre this climb. This comes up right after we just broke away from you. Right after I just broke away from you guys even. And again, this might split the men from the boys. Van Baal's a little bit behind. Liege has joined up with him. Wonder if that third group's going to start to drop off a bit now. It's okay. That's okay. I don't mind that. Nearly at the top, I'd say now. There we go. We've got a group of 3. Van Baal's here. There he is. This is good. That was good. Okay, fine. Again, still keeping that 2-minute gap to the peloton. Just getting a bit of energy coming back down here. No need to use any of our feed yet, to be quite honest. We're doing quite alright without it. Still a 2-minute gap to the peloton. Another 5 kilometres gone. Who knows? Let's see what happens. So now we've got another climb. I feel like this is now the time where the peloton will start to gain. Where they'll smell blood at the front of the race. This is where we'll start to struggle, perhaps. Just check the guys behind. Make sure they're not struggling too much. Well, the story is they are, really. So we're going to have to give all those guys their blue gel. Don't really want to at this point, but there's not really too much we can do about it. Gidic is doing pretty decently. You can't argue at him too much.
Okay, I'll consume a feed.
But Van Baal, Meduas and Vlijan in this group. The guys behind a little bit further back. Just want to see if either of these two will go to the front. So we can follow them. But at this point, no surprise, the peloton's starting to be spread a little bit. Want to keep an eye on Van Baal. They haven't got the most energy here, so it might be a good idea just to take a bit of our feed. It's not too long to the next feed zone. But it'd be crucial just to make sure we get to the top of this without too much damage. So let's go to Van Baal as well. Because you can't take 50% of your feed from that menu. So we'll ride with Van Baal for a little while here. Yeah, there's a big group of that 6 group now, because things are starting to spread a little bit in this breakaway. There's different groups starting to form, and that peloton is going a long way back. We have still got Gidic and Marder, to be fair, in that group, so that's fairly encouraging. We'll get Gidic to take all of his blue feed. I think Bjerg needs his red feed as well, to be honest. We're not too far away from the line. And again, we don't expect all of our guys to get there in the front group. But these two are doing pretty well at the moment. You can't argue with those two too much. And now these two are the only two in this breakaway. So I want to keep an eye on Meduas, make sure he's okay. Doesn't run out of energy. But we're not too far from the feed zone. We've got one more climb before the next feed zone. But this is looking okay at the moment. I just worry because we've used a lot of our energy. Again, we haven't necessarily been in the peloton group. We'll let Van Baal take control now, and Meduas can just sneak in behind him. Meduas has got a bit more energy, actually. We used all of our feed with Meduas. Must have accidentally clicked on taking all the blue feed. I'm not too sure, but interesting. 73 kilometres to go. That group of 22, now 21, starting to dwindle a little bit. That 7th group, well, the one with a Felix in, is certainly the group to watch out for, I think, comes to the end of the stage. Still a long way to go, though. Anything can happen. So, this is the biggest ascent of the route, I'm informed, in terms of the length of it. 4.4 kilometres. I'm informed by the sports director. After this, there are 60 k's to go. And I think after this, we will get our feed. Just told Maduas just to stick behind us, because Van Baal's the best placed here. He's got most of his feed left. We've now took most of that feed. But he's the best placed. Peloton, as you can see, gaining all the time. Probably they will gain by the top of this climb. But I think that our two guys, particularly Van Baal, are in good shape to compete with them. But, you know, it's still a big gap, a minute or so. So they've got to eat into that. I think Gidic, yeah, he's still in that group. So, you know, well done to Gidic. He's doing really well. He's showing what he can do. Not a surprise that the other guys are falling back. At the end of the day, you can see that fifth group has got Carapaz in it, which we know from the early days. He's a very strong competitor. I think it's Richard Carapaz. Or is it? No, it's Rohan Dennison. I think it is Richard Carapaz. We know he's a very good competitor. So it's no slouch to be in the same group as him. And Mardra's in that same group. I think that all the other guys are in that 7th group. Lawless and Bierge. And for all the geeky ones out there, you can see that while we've had this break wave, just these two, Maduas has took the brunt of the relays, but now Van Baal's helping out his teammate. Just keeping an eye on Maduas to make sure he doesn't struggle. I think Gidic is starting to struggle now, so just going to tell him to follow in that group, and hopefully he should be alright. I think it's up to us just to make sure we control Maduas now, make sure that he doesn't really struggle. Just set a low tempo here. If we can, stick him behind Van Baal. Van Baal's not going too quickly. Just sticking behind Van Baal, try and get this energy back. You can see that group of 27 is gaining pretty quickly here, and it might be the best thing for us to let that group catch, to be honest. Just to get some energy back.
A teammate has just been dropped.
Yeah, Gidic has been dropped. We might as well take our red feed, just try and persist as much as possible with him, because it'd be a shame for him to go at this point, but there's not a fat lot we can do, really. Jacob surprised me. You know, that he's not doing too well, but can't win them all. I think it's inevitable now that we are going to be caught up.
You have 30 seconds.
So Maduas, bless him, once we start to simulate, really goes for it. Can't argue with that. So we are at the top of the climb. Get Van Baal to take the rest of his gel at this point. But yeah, I think that it's pretty inevitable here that we are going to drop into this group. But this is definitely going to be the lead group. We can't argue with that. But we can regain a bit of energy coming down this. I think Van Baal's definitely the favourite in our team to go and win this. But Maduas is certainly a player. Again, there's only really 20 guys in this, it seems now. And I think the top 10 at least get points. So, you know, there's definitely a chance for 2 of our guys to be in the points. That'd be great. Madua's starting to drop back a little bit now from Van Baal. And he'll probably settle in that group, which is okay. But we've got a decent amount of energy. Remember, we've got another feed zone. So it all lines up where it should do. There we go, the feed zone coming up now. Just listen to what he's got to say. There you go. 4 big difficulties before the end. These guys are starting to catch now, and they will now be in the lead group, so the breakaway is over. But, yeah, we'll just ensure a minimum tempo. See how we go here, and, yeah, see what changes. Hopefully there's no big attack, because I don't think we'll really be able to keep up with it. But, yeah, we should finish in the top 20 here with our 2 men, which is a big result. Really positive. Okay, this is cool. If this is the area I think it is, we're... oh, nearly crashed with Van Baal there. We are in Spa. Which, as I understand it, there's only one Spa in Belgium, and that is where the Formula 1 Grand Prix is held. I didn't know we came through Spa. I knew it was this sort of area. But if this is where we're coming through, that's cool. I've actually been to Spa for the Grand Prix, but it was 7 years ago, and I don't think I was here where the Liege Bastogne Liege took place. That would be in about April, so... with the Grand Prix taking place at the end of August. I very much doubt it would be then. But I just thought I'd point it out, particularly for those of you guys who are interested in the F1 as well. So 4 climbs to go. This is the 4th one to go, if you like. But you've got your top brass here. You can see you've got Roderick, Van Avermaet. We've got Yates. Yates actually starting to struggle here. And I think a few guys will be split. You know, I think a few guys will go on this climb. Maybe Meduas, potentially. Just want to keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't. Just tell Meduas to persist a bit smoother. Again, no need to really attack. Van Baal's got that energy. Meduas hasn't. Just try and stay in this main group. And just a note for Gidic, who's actually in the 3rd group back. So that's a big plus, and he's now just joined the 2nd group, so that's great. Sports Director said there's not really much chance of a breakaway. Yeah, Yates starting to struggle, so that group of 20 now turns into a group of 19. We've really got a chance. Really got a chance. And having a group of 19 with 2 of our men in it, I'm really happy. Really am. But again, still a long way to go. Well, there's a few more guys coming to the fore now, and one of those is Gidic. There's 23 in this main group, a few more, and I told Gidic a little while ago to attack, and it seems to have worked a beauty. I wasn't expecting him to be in this league group, but, well, Gidic at this point is actually better conditioned, well, not quite, but as well conditioned as Meduas. So rather than having 2 in 19, we've now got 3 in 24, which is a real result. Really happy with this, and as you can see, we're not burning too much energy with our main guys at the moment, coming down this decline. Just under 40 kilometres to go. This is getting very interesting. I'm only worrying about that 3rd group, which Gidic was a part of course, earlier on. I am worrying about that group potentially joining in with this group, but who knows? If they do, they do. Not in setting too much of a pace with our guys at the moment. But here we go. We got a big climb here, so I'm going to go back to Van Baal. Should be okay unless something starts kicking off, and we will react to that. But yeah, I think actually it might just be good to try and persist without limit now. Gidic has been dropped. Oh dear. Meduas and Gidic have been dropped. Are they just behind us? Yeah, they're just behind us. So they're in that 2nd group. That's not really a problem, to be fair. But we've been caught napping here, I think, a little. Yeah, they said that we needed to be at the front, so I don't know why we just didn't listen to that. Try and push our way through with Van Baal. He's looking okay. I think it's probably worth just telling those guys to attack. Try and put in some good energy. See where they end up. We haven't got to be at the front necessarily, though, at the top of this. We just need to be there or thereabouts. 2 kilometres. Hopefully it's nearly over. But as it's always said, if we're starting to struggle, then it means that everybody else is as well. But looks like Meduas, and was a mistake potentially to tell them to follow and not override. It was just to make sure that we conditioned ourselves. But really, it's now time to focus on our main man. Van Baal, yeah, there, okay. Time to focus on our main man. We'll tell Meduas and Gidic to attack. But ultimately, this man is the best place, so we need to focus on him. Attack, 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 attack. At the front of this group, we were starting to climb, and a Felix has launched a bit of an attack. I don't think we've been caught too much napping, though. I presume it's a Felix they're talking about there, giving himself a chance.
There are 2 obstacles left on the menu.
Yeah, 2 obstacles left now. A Felix has got away a little bit, but it's not that big of a gap, so I think we're okay. We have got both Meduas and Gidic in the main peloton, so that's good stuff. Going to tell them to try and catch the front. Hungry for this. Try and follow this man who's trying to launch a bit of an attack. But making sure we keep our energy with Van Baal. Remember that we've got this till the finish now. We've got this feed till the finish, so we need to make sure we're okay. But 2 big obstacles. We've got a full feed left with Van Baal. We've certainly got a decent chance. That group of 19 has lost 1. It's lost the 1 Yates. Very confusing having 2 guys called Yates, isn't it? Goodness me. But we have got downhill sections where we can recover our energy. So it's all about energy management. And I'm really excited. I genuinely think we've got a good chance here. So the penultimate difficulty. It's short, but no surprise. These guys are going to try and put the pace in. Need to take some of our feed, I think, now with Van Baal. Problem is you can only take it at a certain speed level.
We'll have to keep something in reserve if we want to get away in the final kilometers.
Ah, is there now only a group of 10? I think we're in that second group, though, so yeah. Group of 17, really. Kvatkowski, we know how good he can be. We've had the beauty of knowing how good he can be. Got a left-hand turn, though, soon, so we can really just go pedal to the metal here, because we know we can regain some energy coming down. Right, one more to be climbed. 23 kilometres left. We're a little bit behind this group, so I want to try and catch it up if we can. Using a bit more of our feed, so again, we just need to stay awake. That's the most important thing. I think we should be able to catch back up to this group. But stay awake, and we got a chance. This is going to be interesting as we head now nearly into the final 20 kilometres. So, one more climb to go here. One more climb to go, and then it's just a descent. Got to give it all we've got here. It's just knowing. I mean, look how big this is. Look at it. Oh. Gonna have to take some of our feed here. We haven't really got a choice, but if we're going to take it at any time, it's got to be now. If everybody else is struggling, boy, we are going to be as well. Can we get up here? Okay, I think we should be alright. We just want to stay in play, so because we're a bit further back, we're going to have to use that bit more energy. Oh, it's a risk, this is. But we're going to get so much more of that energy back as we come back down here. 14 Ks to go. And we're over it. Okay, now we come back down. Just need to use that aerodynamic position, don't be greedy. I wanted a bit more of a decline than that, to be honest. Yeah, we're coming up now, so we're coming up again. There's going to be another attack. If there is, I don't think we'll be able to live with this. I don't think we'll be able to live with this pace. Okay, we're still in it. Top 17. We're okay. Yeah, we're okay. Get past this is the really nasty part. Get past this, and then we've got the descent into Liège. Come on, Van Baal, give it all you've got. One last push. This is good. We're in and about there now. We're not being dropped, but look at how quick that energy is dropping. I think that's the top of the climb, is it? I really hope it is. 10 Ks to go. We need a descent. We need to regain some energy somewhere. We don't really want that there. Well, we're going to be forced to put in a low amount of pace now. Probably just follow these guys. And I think that group of 10 at the front has gone. That's just inevitable. Can't do much about that at this point. Done really well so far, though. So if we weren't to go all the way, it wouldn't be a disaster, really. But we enter the final 10 kilometres. Again, we just need a bit of a decline to get some energy back. But if we get the energy back, then those guys at the front will as well. How's everybody else doing? Just get them to take their feed at this point. Don't want them to be damaged too much for the next tour, which will be the Brage Cup. But I think that our man Van Baal has certainly deserved a break after this. He's done brilliantly. Just be really good to finish in the top 10 to get something out of this. It'd be such a shame if we didn't. But those guys at the front are falling and coming back, are going away. And a 30-second gap is a little bit big, I think, at this stage. And, you know, I don't think our opponents are going to be good enough to help us get it back. Is that descent coming? It needs to come soon. I'm praying for it now.
He's moving on to the attack.
Just think we're not going to have enough here. But this has been a really credible effort. I think the descent comes now. Here comes the descent. It's not really too much of one, though, to really bother things too much. It would be so agonising to finish 11th if it is indeed the top 10 that get points. Right, here comes the chance to get some energy back. And then just absolutely go for it. There's only 10 guys in that group now. 28 seconds is the gap. Right, we've got a bit of energy. going to have to go for it now with Van Baal. Give it our all. Again, we got as much as we wanted there. There's that front group. We're putting in all our energy here. We're not going to get to that final kilometre giving ourselves a chance, are we? That's a shame. But guys at the front are starting to struggle now. So you've got to be in it to win it, as they say. Head on to the final kilometre. Again, that top 10 is too far away. But can we get 11th with Van Baal? I think we're going to blow up before the end. Yeah, we are. That's unfortunate. Can we get 15th? Yeah, we can. That was not a bad performance at all from Dylan Van Baal. Not at all. Our main man. Just didn't have what it took in the end. You know, we were going against the best of the best, the Rojlicks of this world. And maybe an early indication that we might not be able to live with those guys in the Tour de France. But again, we'll pick our best team for that Tour de France. And we'll see how we go. But I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Let's see who wins the whole thing. Don't know who won. It was a Felix who did pretty well at the start of that breakaway. So let's see if he took full advantage and won.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to know
Could be. Don't recognise that jersey. But it could be him.
across the line. Here is the winner of Liege.
Van Avermaet won. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't think the points extend down to the top 15, but I'd love it if they did. Let's see. So, nothing from the sports director in the end. That's a little bit of a shame. But top 15, you know, really happy with that. Really in that main group. Meduas did pretty well as well in that second group. Can't argue with that too much. Van Baal picks up 30 points. Well, that was well worth it. Well worth it. Really well done there. 30 points for Dylan Van Baal. Obviously, Gegenhardt picks up none. Meduas none. Yeah, as expected, really. But, you know, it was worth it for 30 points, that was. Definitely worth it. So, we start to move down the rankings a little bit, but we're still in third. That is very solid. You can't complain at that one too much. So, the next one is the Brage Cup. We'll do that as well, all in one video. Luckily, we've got a smaller team which takes that on, so the pressure's off a little bit. But as you can see, Lawless, Swift, McClay are three guys that will definitely be in that group. I think Quintana and Athene will be as well. Just looking to give as many of the big guns a break as possible. But if you enjoyed that video, I really did, and we did pretty well to get 30 points out of that. If you enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below, comment your thoughts as well. And of course, make sure to subscribe for regular Tour de France content on a Tuesday, Thursday and on a Saturday. Until the next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.